Basically, in this minute, I would like to cover the view that we have towards a very clear and fast evolution to an open data world. In this open data world, the two big requirements are bandwidth and traffic handling capability. In order to meet those two big requirements, I think new networks are necessary, and to build those new networks, technology is not going to be the constraint. Investment is the constraint. And I think the industry is challenging a significant demand for investment, and in order to find the right approach and the solutions for this challenge, I think collective solutions are necessary. First of all, I think it is important to recognize that right now consumers are driving our market, and we must take into account always consumer demands. Today, consumers like to be always on, always connected, and in addition to that, they behave in such a way that in a very short period of time, it happens too many things. In just 1 hour, 35,000 users join social networks. In 1 minute, 24 hours of video are uploaded to the network. And in 1 second, 50 million blocks are updated. So everything is happening at a very fast speed. But also, it is very important to take into account that consumer patterns are very uneven. Consumer patterns change a lot from heavy users to low users. In fact, I know that it's very difficult to share numbers here, and you may find different numbers in different places, but in our operations today, basically 80% of the traffic is being generated by 25% of fixed broadband accesses with an average of 40 gigabits per month per user. In the case of mobile broadband, this 80% of traffic is being generated today by just 7% of the users, with an average consumption of 4 gigabits per month. I think it is also important to take into account that in the case of the fixed broadband, those numbers are pretty stable in the last year or in the last months, though the numbers in the mobile broadband side are significantly going up. So we must say that those numbers on the mobile broadband services are not yet stable at all, and they will continue changing. But this pattern consumption is very relevant and very important from the marketing point of view and from the network point of view. This pattern consumption is going to be changing because the dynamic of devices is very impressive. I think devices evolution is being performing extraordinarily well in the last year, and is continue performing very well, and we really believe that is going to be evolving at a high speed in the next years to come. Of course, one of the key terminals from the point of view of the network that it will have an impact is the smart TV or the connected TV, where maybe now we are seeing a lot of new products in the last months. A very significant product that may mean a new category of products is the so-called tablets that right now are becoming very, very popular in the market, and of course they will have a huge impact on the networks. But perhaps overall, the device with a higher impact in the market and with a higher impact in the networks, from my point of view, are smartphones. Smartphones have had, and they are going to continue having, a very, very big impact on the overall marketplace. I think smartphones were the biggest contributors to something very relevant, in my view, which is that finally mobile internet is exploding. You know that we started investing to create this market 10 years ago, maybe even more than 10 years ago. We had been investing a lot. We invested at that time a huge amount of money on a spectrum. Then we continued investing on networks, and it took too long before we were able to find this market. 10 years of huge investment. But finally, we may be very happy because this market finally happened and is really exploding. And I think it is like that because mobile internet barriers had fallen because prices, because network coverage and capacity, because user interface, because simplicity, and because many things that happen at the same time in such a way that this market really mature and is really happening right now. Because of that, this mobile internet stimulated the development of a huge amount of applications that multiplied by 6 just the number of applications in the last year. Though we must recognize that the use of these applications, of many of these applications, is low. Only 30 of that big amount of applications have more than 500 users. Well, that may mean that we are talking about a tail kind of market, or that we have a huge opportunity in front of us if we are able to provide the right applications to our customers. That's how we see the market today. But when we look into the future, we really believe that this steady virtuous cycle is going to continue, is going to be maintained, and is going to accelerate, because we see that networks are going to provide more bandwidth, are going to provide more mobility, and that will help that new, more powerful devices will come with an enhanced user interface, and this will facilitate new applications, multi-platform based applications in a convergent world with more open platforms, at the same time that video, high-definition TV, and 3D video is going to be taking a stronger position in the new applications. Overall, we really believe that we will continue evolving towards a full data world. This evolution will be, of course, reinforced by the European vision, and I guess that later on we will have the opportunity to see the representative of the European Commission telling us about the digital agenda for Europe, where the ambitions in terms of coverage and in terms of connections from an operator's point of view are very high. They are very important. If we are able to meet those objectives, I think there is not going to be any doubt that the bandwidth available will multiply by 10 in 5 years, and the traffic that we'll need to manage is multiplied by a big number in 5 to 6 years. That means that operators need to build a fully new network in order to be able to support those huge demands. The kind of network we see for the future is a network where, of course, we must take into account customers' demands, not only for their own premises, but for external purposes. We really believe that the new network has to be multimodal access or multi-access, so that we will be able to provide our customers the right solution regardless the technology we use, whether it is fixed or mobile. We believe that the core should be fully plain IP, and of course we believe in open networks. We believe that service platforms, content delivery, and cloud should be open to third parties in order to be able to facilitate this new world of new and plenty of applications. To build that kind of network, technology, as I said, is not going to be a constraint. I would say that just today we need the technology we have. We have the technology we need to build a network. But not only that, when we look into the future, when we see the technology that will come in the near future or in the medium term, we are very confident that technology is not going to be the constraint, not at all. Though I think it is very important to take into account that we are in the middle today of a very intensive cycle of investment, because we have to invest at the same time in, I would say, many technologies. Maybe as a difference with previous periods of time, today, when we have the need to invest at the same time on several technologies. And because of that, there is such a big demand on investment. So, I really believe that the challenge which are facing in the industry to take care of customers' requirements, customer demands, and to build the networks of the future is investment. To be able to invest as much as it is needed, the key in our industry is how good are we in growth monetization. I do not have any doubt that in our industry there is and there is going to be volume growth. And volume growth, it is going to be very high. But the big challenge of our industry is to be able to monetize that growth. If we are good in monetizing that growth, then we will have revenue growth. And if we have revenue growth, we will have the necessary investment to build the new networks at the right time. Unfortunately, I have to say that till now, prices have not sent the right signals to either side of the market. For too long, we offer unlimited flat rates to users that produce a high amount of traffic without variations on the access charge. On the other side of the market, as it is the model today, for internet agents, it is possible to increase the traffic they send to the network without no impact on the communication cost. The result, it is a huge increase on the amount of traffic that we need to manage in our network, but with flat revenues. This is not sustainable. Our industry as a whole needs some changes. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to find the money to cover that investment that is needed for the future. Then, from my point of view, we need a new data business model, and we need to create collectively, in cooperation, a new model. And in this model, in the retail pricing, I think we should offer more segmented choices to our customers. Tier pricing is key, and little by little we need to avoid unlimited flat rates. In the interconnection side of the model, in my view, it is not sustainable to continue with peering agreements. Why? Because the traffic is becoming very unbalanced. And peering agreements were based on balanced traffic from one operator or from one country to the other. And this balance is being broken and is becoming too unbalanced to continue with peering agreements. And at the same time, I think it will be good or even necessary to differentiate between open services, open internet, and managed services with different regulations, different constraints, and different requirements. Of course, changes of that kind are very difficult, are very complex. A lot of talks and cooperations are needed among the different agents in the industry, and additionally, it is very important to cooperate and to talk about with the regulators. The regulators play a significant role in our industry. They are going to continue playing a significant role in the evolution of our industry. There have been a lot of discussions in this weekend here among regulators, and perhaps the most important topics that are today on the table for our point of view are around the new network that we need for the future, are around the spectrum that is absolutely key to build the new networks, and are around the protection of the consumer and the net neutrality, as Reynaldo told us before. Then, in order to be able to build this future that we need, to build the networks for the future, to build the networks for this century that we are already in, I think it's absolutely key to cooperate among the private industry with the authorities in order to find the right solution. And I have to recognize that in this kind of discussions, talks and cooperation, I think it's necessary to agree on some key principles for the times that we are in now. The first one is that we should try to reinforce investment and innovation, because that's key for our future. The second one is that we need to create an open, interoperable and standard world for data communications. Then it's absolutely necessary to protect privacy and security for the market and for the consumers. It's key to offer more choices to our customers, and of course we must ensure the sustainability of the business in order to be able to create a very fantastic world that we have in front of us. Thank you very much.